In this video we'll be traveling from Riga, the capital of Latvia, to Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. We start off by showing the railway station where this journey starts, what is Riga, and this railway station is being refurbished big time. Despite that, this is integrated within a shopping mall, so you find all the facilities you might need for your journey. And with all the decoration in the train, I don't have to tell you at what time of the year I made this specific journey. So join us on board of this train from Riga in Latvia to Vilnius in Lithuania. Actually, we just took the train, we just arrived here. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. A couple of days before, we arrived in Riga by train from Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. If you make this journey by train, you have to change trains at Valga, a border town between Estonia and Latvia. And actually, from the moment I recorded this video and probably at the moment of publishing, this will be way smoother and there will be connecting trains at the border town. We had some time to kill, but probably if you make this journey yourself, this will be way faster. And this counts for this entire video in general. Within 5 years from now, this will be totally different. Anyway, this is the timetable if you're traveling from Vilnius to Tallinn via Riga on one day. We'll be traveling with the LTG link today from Riga to Vilnius. So it's a later ride. And because we did this at the, dark days of the year, we didn't have a lot of daylight when I made the journey. We spent some nice days in Riga, and Riga is actually a very walkable city. You can get pretty much anywhere, at least for the touristic areas, by foot. It's a beautiful old town, a great big market, and you also find a nice Art Nouveau neighborhood. Even though it's very walkable, you will find trams and buses all around. And obviously lots of these trams and buses do also go to the railway station. Around the railway station you find lots of stops. Well, this railway station is being refurbished big time at the moment I recorded this. So this might be all very different in the not too far away future. And this all to accommodate the Rail Baltica railway line. This is a new high-speed railway line between Berlin and Tallinn, so via Poland, Lithuania, Latvia to Estonia. The Baltic states are a part of the former Soviet Union. And basically this means that the width of the railroad tracks is different than in the western part of Europe. And this whole Rail Baltica project will improve the connectivity by train to the western part of Europe as well. Although this also comes with a big price tag, and there's a lot of criticism on this whole project recently for that. Personally, I think it would also be great to just upgrade some part of the tracks and make them on different track gauges. So both the trains that do operate normally in these countries can run on those tracks, but also trains that can go, for example, between Poland and Germany. Anyway, let's say in 5 years time from now after I publish this video, this will not be an up-to-date video anymore, I guess. This here is at the front of the railway station. If I move the camera a little bit more to the left, you find a big shopping mall. This is seamlessly integrated into the railway station, and I also think that for the new situation this will be pretty smooth integrated. If we go in over here, you get out at what is kind of the main concourse. You find different tunnels leading towards the platforms. However, because of the construction works, not all tunnels were being used. Mainly tunnel A was being used and was the most useful tunnel, at least in my experience. But this might change as well. You find quite a lot of screens around here with information about departing trains. Trains to the surrounding area of Riga do operate pretty frequent. And to some further destinations within Latvia, well, it really depends on where you go, but for some routes you won't find that frequent trains, to be honest. And on some other routes it's okayish. Let it be no surprise that at the moment of recording at least, the amount of international trains is pretty low. You find 3 to 5 trains per day to Valga, what is just across the border from Latvia into Estonia, and there's 1 train per day to Lithuania. and obviously also the other way around. At and around the main concourse in the railway station building, there are quite some shops where you can get some food and drinks for a journey, and at several spots you find information about the trains, also in these offline papers, although I didn't check it out in detail though. And once again, lots of screens with information about departing trains, as you can see over here. At the site, seamlessly integrated within this railway station, there's a big shopping mall where you find lots of shops as well, including a supermarket, what might be very useful for a longer railway journey. From the railway station, directions have been marked okayish. Because of the construction works, some things are changing right now, so this might be a little bit confusing every now and then. Just make sure you plan some extra time before you go to the train, but this is my general advice. There are some ticket counters spread out throughout this station, although it's not an awful lot to be honest. And, at least at the moment of recording, you can only buy domestic tickets. This includes tickets to the railway station of Valga, what is in Estonia. At the moment we move to the platforms, the construction works are very visible. This railway station will have a totally new look in the not too far away future, if I may believe the time frame they planned for this. I have some doubts when it comes to that, to be honest. And let's be honest, the current railway station is not bad, but this artist's impression really looks totally different. The new railway station becomes a true intermodal transport hub, with local and regional public transportation, and also trains, both domestic and international. For now, let's take a close look at our train, but before we do that, there's a swing here at Vilnius railway station. Kinda cool, I like it. I hope you like this video as well. If you do so, or if it helped you, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you'd like to see more truck reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. If you have some questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. And for now, let's continue with this video. And for now, let's take a closer look at our train for today. And this is our train coming in the morning. I tried to film there as well because it was pretty busy, but no chance of getting that. This is a LTG Link 730 ML. LTG Link is a state-owned railway company of Lithuania. This is the train type PESA 730M, made by the Polish train manufacturer, surprise surprise, PESA. You also find them in this Connecting Europe Express livery, and these trains can also be found on the route Riga-Vilnius, and the other way around obviously. These trains do have a top speed of 156 km per hour, a bit strange number I know, and do have a total capacity of 150 seats, what is not a lot. Some icons at the outside do indicate where you can find the bike zone, for example, and this train has 3 carriages. However, the seat numbers are unique for the entire train, so it just goes from 1 to 150. At the entrance doors you will find what seat numbers can be found if you take that specific entrance door, and because the carriage numbers have also been mentioned along this route, the carriage numbers have also been mentioned at the door. It was really busy during my ride. I was one of the first passengers to be on board, but this was basically the only shot I could take without other passengers on it. In second class, there's a mix of airline style seats and seats facing each other. For the seats facing each other, there's a bigger and sturdy fold-out table between the seats. For this ride we were having seat 43 and 44, what was in carriage number 1. However, later on I also travelled on exactly the same train type, and I will combine some of those shots with the shots I took during the Riga-Vilnius train ride. This here is at the end or beginning of the train depending how you look at it, where you find the highest seat numbers. For luggage you obviously find the overhead luggage racks throughout the train, but don't miss out on the back ends of the seats. And also there are dedicated luggage racks throughout the train for luggage. This here is by the way a bit a hidden spot for luggage, but well, you can store some over here as well obviously. All the entrance doors are at a lower level, so it's easier to board these trains for everybody. And the middle carriage on both rides I had on these trains, they totally made this Christmas themed, including some pillows at the seats. I mean, just look at this. I really like it. Although if you want to make a trip report about the train that is not really having a specific time frame, then it's not that great to be honest, but therefore I'll publish this video as soon as possible. If you're traveling within Lithuania or from and to Lithuania by train around Christmas and New Year, then you might find on several routes trains that do have these kinds of decoration. In the train I had, this was only the case in the middle carriage, what is carriage number 2. Yeah, and what else can I say about this? Well, someone definitely did their best. And yeah, once again, I like it. However, by placing some packages in the luggage racks, you really create less space for luggage. What's not that practical, and especially not for an international long-distance train. At the total front or back of the train, depending what way the train is moving, you will find the first class. First class comes just like second or standard class in a 2x2 configuration, and there are only 18 seats in first class. However, I really like this one here, the seat numbers 3 and 4. Another thing in first class, you find some coat hangers. Yeah, I don't really use it myself, but it's there as well. The seats are more comfortable, a bit wider and a bit more legroom, but that's basically it. To be honest, the second class on these trains is really good as well. However, first class gives you a free coffee or a soft drink, lounge access if the lounge is open in Vilnius, and you find the reading lights in the luggage racks. That's basically it. What I noticed is that pets are not allowed in the first class area. Speaking of which, there's also a special bar for dogs, so they can drink some water. I really like this. And by having pet-free and pet-allowed zones in trains, you make it easier for people who are allergic to dogs or cats as well to travel. There's no dining car on board of this train, but you can buy some snacks and drinks from the train staff. It will be delivered at your seat. This here is the menu, but it might change obviously as well if you're traveling aboard of this train. Don't expect too much, but it's some basic snacks and drinks. And the prices are very reasonable. We were traveling during Christmas, and for this my girlfriend bought me this Dutch railway socks. How cool is that? I think it was the best thing to put it on during this trip. Anyway, let's do a seat tour of the standard or second class seats. And these are the airline style seats. You find a fold-out table in the seat in front of you, just like first class, and there's a laptop holder as well. You find the footrest, and right above the footrest there's a magazine holder. Or, well, whatever you want to put in it. I do have to say, the amount of legroom is very reasonable, and especially for second class. And I really like these seats actually. You can also recline them a little bit, as you can see over here. And right between the seats you find a power socket. At the side near all windows there are sunscreens, but let it be no surprise, we didn't need it during this ride. Timetables for the specific train can be found at some parts at the vestibules. And if you want to see the menu that's on board, near most seats you find a QR code you can scan to have a look at the menu on board. And for this ride I also did the jaw of macho elbow test. I think these trains will pass the jaw of macho elbow test. Like I mentioned before, there's no dining car on board of this train, but a service at your seat. However, between the first and the second class, you will find the pantry and the kind of fridge where the staff keeps the food. And what is indirectly more related than food than you might think at first, these are the toilets, and you find 2 of them on board of these trains. There's a smaller toilet at carriage number 1, and then you find a bigger accessible toilet at carriage number 2, what also had the Christmas decoration. Well, these toilets were pretty clean during the rides I had on both of these trains, to be honest. And let it be no surprise, this is pretty common for accessible toilets within European trains, that these accessible toilets can also be used as a nursery space for if you're traveling with a little baby. Most importantly, everything worked and everything was clean. About booking train tickets, you can do this via the website of LTG Link, and this is the state-owned railway company of Lithuania. This website works really easy and it basically all speaks for itself. Tickets go on sale 30 days prior departure, and please do keep in mind that these trains can be very popular. there won't be sold more tickets as there are seats available. Tickets are not for sale via the state-owned railway company of Latvia. But is really a pity. I like to see this much more integrated within the Baltic states. I think this is a great first step into integrating their railroad system and make it easier to travel by train over there. If you're traveling with the use of Interrail or Eurail, you can do this, however a seat reservation is obligated. This will cost you €5. From the booking website you can select on a map what seat you like to have. And also extra services can be selected over here, like for example a connecting public transportation ticket within Vilnius. I'd like to see the same thing for Riga, by the way. But what I only noticed at the moment I recorded this here to show you for this video what it looks like, you can buy much more services like luggage transfer service. I don't know what this exactly means, maybe from the front to the station to the other front of the station, but well, I don't think they will bring it to your hotel though. And pet transportation, so keep in mind if you're traveling with a pet you need to pay extra for this. VIP lounge in the lounge of Vilnius railway station can also be bought separately, but I think if you buy a first class ticket this is included as well. Altogether I think this is a great connection. I like these trains, they're comfortable, it's a good service. However, the capacity for trains on this route is just way too low. The demand is there, so I think it would be great if there would be also more trains on this route. For example, a Latvian train that runs on the same direction but in the morning from Riga to Vilnius and in the evening from Vilnius to Riga. I think that would be absolutely great. And also if they sell each other's tickets. And I think this is really something where we need to work on in the Baltics. Make a more integrated ticket system. So I don't need to go to all the domestic train websites of the state-owned railway companies, but I can just buy one ticket from one state-owned railway company to all the other stations in the Baltics as well. Here the train is crossing the Dvinja river, if I pronounce it right. This here is also a point where you can see some construction works on the Rail Baltica project. Our train from Riga to Vilnius has one more stop in Latvia. And Jelgava to be exactly, what is not that far away from Riga. The railway section Jelgava-Riga is being served by quite a lot of domestic trains. However, our Lithuanian train cannot be used for domestic routes within Latvia. If I try to book a ticket on the website of LTG Link between Riga and Jelgava, it just gives the message that the train has been sold out, even on days when there are still lots of places available. I understand that taking this train between Jelgava and Riga doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there are lots of other trains you can take, and why take these seats for international passengers after all. But well, at least link to the other website of the Latvian railway company. I think that would be very much appreciated. Because what if I'm a tourist and I don't know that much about these countries, only know that I want to visit some towns. But I think this is a challenge we have in general when it comes to train traveling within Europe. We have all these great railroads, but booking each other's railway tickets is not always that easy. After Jelgava, the train is going to Lithuania, and the first station where we call is Joniškis, if I pronounce it right. This small town is only being served by 2 trains per day, and that is the train we have. In the morning to Riga and in the evening to Vilnius. The next station along our route is Sulai. Over here you find quite a lot of railway lines, and this is a rather important junction railway station within Lithuania. I noticed quite a lot of people who took this train from Riga that did not took this train for the entire ride. Also within Lithuania there were lots of people traveling just with this specific train from Riga. From here on to Vilnius you also find some trains that do operate more or less at the same times. But those trains are slightly cheaper. I also even noticed third class on both of those trains, but it's really affordable. Second class in that specific train is slightly cheaper as well. I think this is also to push people as much as possible to the domestic trains to keep some seats available for the international railway passengers. For obvious reasons, I didn't film that much from the train with the views. However, I have to say, my GoPro doesn't really work that well with low light, but I recorded the views from the train with my phone, what was surprisingly good. I also recently bought a new phone, this also makes a lot of sense though. Anyway, the train makes some more stops along the way within Lithuania before it's arriving at the final station for today, what is Vilnius. The average speed is around 75 km per hour, and this includes the stops along the way, what is still pretty fast. Before you know it, you get at a bigger city area and you're not too far away from the railway station of Vilnius. I will feature that railway station in another video, by the way, where I take you on board of the train from Vilnius to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. You have to change trains at the border though, but more of that in another video. And something I haven't mentioned in this video yet, free Wi-Fi is available on board of these trains. What I mentioned already, the capacity for these trains is not that great, however the bus is also a good alternative on this route. And I already mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. I like this train, they're really comfortable, but the capacity is just not enough. Especially on popular days, these trains book out way too fast, so I think we just need more trains along this route. Also, to make it, for example, possible to go on a business trip from Riga to Vilnius, and not only the other way around. So that's it on board of this train of LTT Link from Riga to Vilnius. It's already the next day and we explore the city here. Tomorrow we'll take a train to Warsaw in Poland. Of course there will be a trip report on that as well, so stay tuned on the channel if you're interested in that. I hope you liked this video, what is very Christmas themed, or it has been a helpful video to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you have some questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. And if you'd like to see more train reports or more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and international traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. Before we really end up this video, one last thing. If you're interested in other videos, in the description of this video on YouTube you find a link to a map where you can find all videos as well, but then on a map. You can also find videos on this channel and you can always subscribe to see new videos coming up. If you like, you can also find me on the socials, Instagram and Blue Sky. See you on the next video.